All right, everyone. Welcome to Endeavor BS. This is our first Endeavor BS here at Endeavor Brewstillery. The BS obviously stands for Brewing and Spirits, and there is no other possible way to interpret that particular combination of letters. Today, we have our lovely GM Carrie with us. My name is Scott, and we have two people from the Nordecke supporter section of the Columbus crew. We have Ethan.
Hello.
And Joe.
Hi.
So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get a couple of pints of the new Nordecke beer that we did as a partnership, and we're going to take some sips and see what we think about them. So they're being delivered. All right, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves too, how you became crew fans and what the Nordecke means to you.
All right, I'll go first. I became a crew fan in 1996, back when the team was just getting started. My older brother always played soccer. He was 4 years older than me, so I was around soccer my entire life. We were always watching it and things, and then once we were getting an MLS team, I was like, yeah, I'm all in on this. Let's go. So we were at that first game at the Horseshoe. We'd go. We didn't have season tickets, but we'd probably go like to half of the home games. But it looks like there's beer coming in, so I'm going to wait a second here.
Thank you. Could not be more excited to try this beer.
Very much so.
So we'll come back to your story in a minute here, Ethan.
Yes. This is more important anyway.
So initially the Nordecke, we have an illustrious history with the crew and saving the crew. So we'll talk about that a little bit in this very room, actually. But this beer we decided to do as a kickoff of this season. We are canning it out in these beautiful 16-ounce cans with some pretty amazing artwork. We'll get into that as well. But Ethan and Joe have the honor of actually taking the first sips of this beer as anyone outside of the brewery in its finished state. So I'm just going to let you guys take a sip and let me know what you think.
I've never felt more special.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like it.
I like that.
Yeah. Sort of lagery, but a little Hefeweizen feel as well.
It's got a little more body to it, you know, so it's,
it's a good drinking beer.
It is.
I like that.
Kind of what we designed it as was a nice
great in a
tailgate beer, pregame. It's not a complex beer. It's nice and clean, approachable.
Very approachable, yes. I don't know any of the fancy beer words, but yes, that's a good one. Yes.
Really nice flavor, though.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
It's not just a basic lager. It's got a lot more flavor, a lot more kick to it. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's great.
Cool. Yeah, it's 4.96, 496 in terms of the alcohol.
A lot of science.
So, a lot of science to get into that exact percentage. I think Cameron did a fantastic job on this beer. Again.
I am not at all sad that I bought out my max four packs.
Very nice. Yeah. So we have there's actually a link in the settings section or in the notes section of the stream. If you want to, it's just shopendeavorbrews.com and you can pre-purchase those 4 packs that will be released and canned next week. So get online, order some, and we'll have them out there.
You won't be sad.
Right.
It's good.
Yes. It's delicious.
Good to hear. So Ethan, go ahead. Keep telling us your story.
Where?
You were 4 and your older brother.
4, older brother. Team started when I was 7. All right, 3 years have passed. But I just remember going to those games at the Horseshoe, and it was like the coolest thing I've ever seen because I never saw soccer, any professional soccer or anything on that level. I was always at my brother's like club games, and there's like the moms and dads on the side. And those stadiums were packed, and I was just like, this is what I want to keep going to forever. And then once I could drive, we kind of didn't go as much because like I had like club soccer and things through like middle school. Then once I got to high school, some of my friends, actually one's on Matt Lamson, I went to high school with. So we all loved the crew. So we started going again then. And then slowly in the college, we kind of started making our own little supporters group kind of thing that started happening. And then the GCG bag was born in 2016. which saved the crew single-handedly. And it's just been a big part of my life ever since I was 7. And then I started making banners, and now I make the big tifos, and it's just like so much fun, and I just love doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe, how did you come to be a crew supporter?
I coached my daughter's team, and we found ourselves at a crew game, unsurprisingly, in a downpour, and we had the best of times, soaked to the bone, and just kept coming back after that. But we were a family crew supporter group until Save the Crew, and I somehow stumbled into the first leadership meeting for Save the Crew. Had no idea that it was me, somebody they had never seen before in their lives, and all of the heads of all the supporters groups. I just figured it was random people. And so got very involved in Save the Crew and ended up involved in the Nordecke.
Yeah.
And here I am. But I've been coming to the game since was a season ticket holder in 2007, and we started coming sporadically in 2006.
Okay. That's great. That's really nice. Yeah. You guys mentioned Save the Crew multiple times here, and that was quite the story.
Yes, it was.
All around. This room, actually, where we're sitting, where we're streaming from, is the location where Save the Crew happened, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't at a lot of those meetings you were, but I only came to like 2. I was like, I don't need this. I make tifo.
I wasn't on the leadership team. They did a lot of that, but I was in a lot of meetings in this room for the business team and dealing with some of the government stuff, and yeah.
So that's how you're so familiar with the heat.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And as usual, it's warm in here.
Extreme hot and cold.
But it's nice to be warm.
Yes.
There's a lot of glass in this room.
Yeah.
So.
The fishbowl.
You had just gotten these tables brand new, and you were super proud of them when we started Saving the Crew. I remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. These are nice.
They're beautiful.
Ohio black walnut, actually.
Oh,
5
yeah.
inch, like, nice.
I was thinking, I wasn't sure.
Nice piece of wood down there. Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited about this beer. I'm excited about this partnership and this upcoming season. I mean, we had a fantastic win last night.
Yeah, that was everything I hoped it would be. And I know we should have scored a couple more, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, 4-0, you can't hope for every match, but it could have easily been double that. So,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, the second half was a hot mess with all the fouls.
It's CONCACAF. That's the way it goes. Like, that's what you're going to get.
There was no flow to that game, but man, the first half was a thing of beauty. The Crew was just firing on all cylinders, and the off the ball movement I was so excited about because, man, those guys were just like predators. They were prowling, and there was always several open. It was so pretty.
And Aiden Morris is still playing like he did in the Cup. Like, that kid, I hope we keep him forever.
Luis Diaz is my boy.
Good one too. We've got a lot of them. It's not a bad problem to have.
Yeah, we've got some new exciting people, like Wright Phillips.
And Kitchens, like our subs are starters for other teams.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Love it.
And this season's going to be a real fun one.
It is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Part of me worries about the expectations going into the season, though.
I'm not worried.
Not worried?
Mm-mm.
Pretty confident?
Oh,
nice.
We're going to win it all.
Fantastic. I like that
At
confidence.
least 2. 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
I want a Champions League over everything. We've never won that.
I don't believe any MLS team has ever.
But the Crew is always first.
Right.
They've always been first. There's no reason to expect they won't be first this time.
They were the first team, so.
First soccer-specific stadium.
Yeah.
You got it all.
If you're not first, you're
first to
last.
have a boat tailgate, maybe in the future, hopefully.
That would be spectacular. Gotta get a boat floated down that river.
Barge.
The GCG barge. You ready?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Carrie, I know you're kind of newer to soccer.
Yes.
What questions do you have as a newer fan?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. So I really started kind of watching soccer and getting interested in soccer about 10 years ago. I met my husband, and he played soccer his whole life. He has coached varsity soccer at the school he teaches at. My son actually has his first soccer game this Sunday. He's 5. So it's a big part of his life, and it's been fun to watch and get more involved in. I was a volleyball player in high school. So my questions are, what do you tell somebody about soccer, about the Crew specifically, who just is really getting into it. I mean, somebody that maybe doesn't know all the players or the exact formats of the games or things like that. Obviously I've been to crew games with my husband, and it's just an amazing environment. It's welcoming and fun to watch. And so what do you tell somebody who's interested in soccer but didn't necessarily grow up with it like you since the age of 4?
I didn't grow up with it.
You didn't play soccer?
No. When I started coaching my daughter's team, I got roped in by the mom who was coaching, who had played soccer. And I knew her because she was a mom in my older daughter's class. And when my daughter joined the team, she said, "Joe, there's too many kids. You have to help coach." And I was like, I think I played soccer twice in gym. I don't know. I went to the library and took out Soccer for Dummies because I knew that little about soccer. I knew nothing. I never watched.
Wow.
I shouldn't say I never watched it. I got to see Pele play at the old Clipper Stadium. I saw the Dublin High School World Cup qualifying game.
Oh, yeah.
That Dante and several other very well-known people played in. I didn't know what I was watching. And I was at one of the inaugural season games at the Shoe, but that was all just because the opportunity came up, not because I was a great soccer lover. Soccer is really easy to understand if you just give it a few games. But the neat thing about soccer that I think is unique in all U.S. sports is the access you have to the players. And I think this is a really neat time in history because soccer is going to eventually eclipse all of our other sports. It is.
Mm-hmm.
All the kids play it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so accessible to everybody. But right now it's not there. And so that access right now is so unique. You can go, your kids can go, they can talk to the players, they'll see them at the grocery store. It's just such an accessible game. And it's so exciting because of that.
My wife and 2 kids saw Gayassi at Target or something like that, and it was like, what the heck? And we're just talking to him and interacting. And I think a lot of the kind of the washed up European people like the Wayne Rooneys and Steven Gerrards, and they like it because they can go out to eat at a restaurant. They can just go out and be a normal person.
Guillermo loved it when he was
Guichet,
here.
yeah. Oh,
Going from Boca to here.
I actually got to see Guichet play for Boca down at La Bombonera in Buenos Aires years ago. And that is a stadium, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It is intense.
I want to go there.
I was down there. So I lived in Chile for 4 years, and I was traveling through Argentina, and we decided, there's a Boca game on this evening. Let's go over there. So this other traveler and I, we went down to scalp tickets, and the scalper sold us women's tickets because apparently they are gender divided, which he had no idea. So we had to bribe the person to let us into the stadium, and of course got in anyway with an extra $5 or $10, whatever it was. And we were sitting in the nosebleed section of the visitors stands. And man, when I think Boca won 3-0, and when they scored a goal, the entire stadium shakes. It's kind of scary, and you're not sure if it's going to fall apart or not. But it was frightening, but intense. And that guy was a goal down there. Yeah.
So that's, as much as Americans revere their athletes, it's amazing how easy it is to go out and see and talk to and touch your local hero.
Yeah.
Josh Williams.
Yeah.
GCG
Williams texted us about that.
Yeah.
So.
But I think that's, the thing I'd say is you can feel intimately involved with the sport in a way that you cannot with any other sport in the U.S. You can be involved with the supporters group. We love the more people, the merrier to join us and get involved and make the TIFO that Ethan does to help me with the charity things that I do. There's so many opportunities to be involved and to meet your heroes. And that's just not something that you can get with other sports.
That's one thing that I did notice about going to the crew games with my husband, or he still plays alumni games at his high school. He's 42 and they still do alumni games every year, and they play against the seniors, and sometimes they win, mostly they don't, But the one thing that really captivated me about going to soccer games, his or club games or the crew games or whatever, is just how the culture of how friendly it is and how you get to know the people you're sitting next to and you become friends by the end of the game. And I'm, like I said, I'm from Michigan. I've been to plenty of hockey games for sure. And nobody talks to each other in their seats. Nobody's, hanging out with the person 2 rows behind them or anything. It's very, you have this huge stadium at a football game or hockey or the arena, and it's just, you're with your little pocket of people. And the thing I notice about soccer is the culture of just the masses, like everybody is together in that moment. And
We're
it's
a
really,
family.
yeah,
Right.
it's really something fun to watch.
Right. And because of all those relationships we've had, like the Nordecke formed in 2008, that's why we saved the team. Because all these random people that I would have never met, we just started hanging out because we liked the crew. And then people have real jobs that they're really good at, which is shocking because what I see in the parking lot. And then like it all came together like, all right, now we have something real we have to do. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's really it's an interesting sport like that too, because I know a lot of people who have started going to crew games by buying a single season ticket.
That's how I got all my friends in.
And they go, and some of them don't even know people.
Yeah.
They just go and they meet friends.
Yeah.
And, I normally I wouldn't go to a Buckeyes game by myself,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
or a Browns game or a baseball game or anything like that. But I'll roll up the crew game and you see people. And even if you don't know people, you meet people.
Yeah, and just say hi. And people will be like, hey,
Want a beer?
welcome. Right, exactly. That's how Orb Gartney got involved. He walked up to the GCG bag and was like, what's up? And that's how it all
And
how it goes.
part of my mission as part of the board for the Nordecke is to spread that word, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that until Save the Crew. We would walk by the tailgate and look at it. My husband and I, for whatever reason, our friend group at the time weren't soccer people. They weren't interested. They didn't care. So we came as a family to the games with, especially my daughter who loved to play soccer, but we didn't have crew friends. And we would walk by the tailgate and think, oh man, I wish we could do that. Like, that's really cool. And all we had to do all that time is just walk up to it.
Just walk in.
But people don't, there's a lot of people who don't know that. They feel like they need to
Well, there's
have
murder. There's a row of murderers, which is scary. I think
called-
that's
I mean, the skunk. You're referring to the skunk.
So-
Yeah.
So that's something I would like people to know, is that just walk in. Like, I know it's hard to walk into a situation where you don't know people,
Yeah.
but just walk in and say, hi, where do I get the free beer?
Yep.
And
And they'll be like,
that person
You're
will
my
either
friend.
say, I'm new too and I don't know, or they'll say, come this way. I know where the free beer is. Come on. And it's an amazing atmosphere, and more people need to know about it so that they can join
Yeah.
us, because we have the most amazing, huge family in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's neat.
it is neat.
It is.
Yeah. Hoping that it grows more and more. And, it was interesting, Joe, you mentioned that you think soccer will eclipse the other sports in this country.
Yeah.
Pretty confident with that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've known that since
Yeah.
I mean,
94.
it'll be a while, because there's no, especially here in Ohio, there's no doubt that we've got the football culture,
Mm-hmm.
but
And FC
Very-
Cincy's messing it up. but-
anymore, very few kids don't play soccer.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's so much easier to relate to a sport that you've actually played. So girls play soccer, boys play soccer. Football is a group of boys, and that's really it.
Mhm.
Where soccer is universal. The rec leagues,
Yep.
they
I'm in a
sweep
co-ed
up.
league right now.
Yeah, they sweep up. But for kids, they sweep up the kids who aren't athletic.
Mhm.
They sweep up
Mhm.
such a broad group of people. So, like, when I coached, I had some girls that certainly were not at all athletes. But if their child ends up being involved in soccer, they'll know the game, they'll understand it, and they'll be very comfortable going to a soccer game because they played.
Yeah.
They may not have ever been great, but they've been a part of it. They feel that sport in a way that I don't think such a group of people does for any other sport. So yeah. 40 years from now, soccer's the sport. Maybe less, but 40 years from now, soccer is
In our fourth stadium.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
ways. We're sort of that test demographic city that a lot of people is this bland, weird Midwestern city that's just kind of hum and average. And in many ways we are that, but we're certainly growing far behind that, and we have been. But I grew up right here in Grandview, went to high school not much more than a mile away from where we are sitting right now. And when I was growing up, everyone played soccer as a kid. Boys, girls, we played in the Kiwanis leagues. And my dad, who grew up in Cleveland, was our coach. My dad didn't even play soccer growing up as a kid. Kiwanis League wasn't available, wasn't a thing. Soccer for kids wasn't even an option. My high school didn't have a men's team until after I graduated. We had a women's team. So soccer was always that kind of, you play it when you're 5, you play it when you're 6 and 7, but when you get old enough to throw a baseball, shoot a basketball, play football, wrestle, those kind of sports, you did that. And it was always, there were a couple of weird kids that played in these traveling teams. And I think a lot of people that grew up with that, with my generation, have almost a chip on their shoulder being soccer fans. They kind of earned it from back in the day, that a lot of other sports don't quite have.
Things they say when you played soccer.
It's almost like an exclusive sort of club of, and they're all Manchester United fans.
Because
that was the only team in the market, whatever.
The real athletes don't play soccer.
Yeah, exactly. But so then
you try to play a 90-minute game.
Yeah, you run all day long and see what happens.
I used to play back-to-back games somehow. I don't know how I did it.
That's what. Yeah, I know. Younger, and then so I grew up never thinking of soccer, thinking of it very differently from what it is. And it wasn't until I was 21 and I moved to Scotland. So I lived in Edinburgh for about a year, and oh wow, my flatmates taught me. Ended up going to a lot of Heart of Midlothian matches. Saw some Glasgow Rangers. It's nuts over there. And really just started watching the game. And then when I came back, I was finished up school in Colorado, did my student teaching. And when I was teaching out there in high school, all of the kids were super into soccer, which is a really cool point of connection for me too, because it was this thing that I kind of learned to love, came back, and all the kids out there were into it. So like, this is something that you go from my dad's generation, who knew that there was some guy named Pelé in Brazil playing it at some point, but they didn't experience it, to them coaching the kids playing it, but not knowing anything about it, to a generation of kids that have grown up being coached by actual coaches who played their whole life, who know what they're doing. Yeah. And we're starting to see that in the MLS. For a long time, the MLS was not great tactically. No. It's getting better.
Yeah. Every year it's getting better.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's exciting to watch the sport grow.
And watching the crew play. Yeah. They're just incredible.
Yeah. And they're kind of setting a new standard in some ways for methods of play and everything.
Yeah. And doing it the right way, not just going and buying like Wayne Rooney or whatever. It's like, we're going to get players that are good, that fit our system, and we're going to run the league.
I mean, look at Zelarayan. He's
so much better than anybody.
He works his butt off.
Yes, he does.
The entire game, offense, defense. It's just.
And he got the cup tattoo. Like he's in.
Yes, that tattoo.
Was like my new favorite, Diaz. That boy runs and runs and runs and runs. Oh my goodness. So much effort. It's crazy.
They just want to win. They're all hungry and they just know. So and they know they got us backing them.
Yep.
They love it. Yeah. We love it. It's great.
And that's, to your point, another thing that's special is that even if you don't have the one-on-one relationship with the players are, you don't hear other teams talk about how amazing their fans are, right? How much they are excited about their fans and excited about the things that their fans do. In soccer, and it's not just a crew thing, in MLS as a whole, the bond between the fan and the teams, every team is so appreciative of their fans. And so you get to have a really special relationship. You may not know the players. I'm not somebody who goes up and introduces myself to the players. That's just not me. But I know that the players are happy that I'm out here doing my thing. Yeah. And Ethan is doing his thing, and everybody else is doing their thing. I know they're thrilled that we're doing what we're doing. Oh, yeah. And that's special.
It really is.
It really is. Yeah. It's exciting.
Kind of to touch on what Scott was saying about how, you said when you grew up, it felt kind of like exclusive, this club or whatever. And the ironic part is, in talking to Ryan, my husband, about what sports to put Lincoln in, I'm very adamant that I don't want him to play in a sport. Now, when he's, I don't want to be that mom. Like if he grows up and he's like, I really want to play baseball. Okay. But I don't want him to get caught up in a culture playing in a sport or really any activity, if it's music or anything that's exclusive to others. So I feel football can be that way, and basketball can sometimes be that way. And, I love basketball. I love watching basketball. Like I love everything about it. But the one thing that, about soccer that I noticed right off the rip is how inclusive it is. Like you said, no matter what your gender is, no matter what your age is, no matter if you're a fan and you don't know anybody there, it's just this environment where you feel supported, you feel included across the board.
And that's intentional.
That, as a mom, is the kind of sport and the culture that you want your child to be around.
Yeah.
So what you're saying in the next 40 years, as we're raising our children to be involved in the community and be involved in what's going on, we want our children to also be involved in those kind of activities and teach them that path. So
it's very intentional.
Yeah.
And again, not just a crew thing.
No.
You see this across MLS, involvement in communities, some teams more than others, but all of them are involved in their communities. All of them are trying to give back. It's just, all of them are trying to be very multicultural, multi-ethnic, very just open, accepting groups of people who want everybody to be there, everybody to feel welcome. There is nobody that should feel bad coming to a soccer game ever. We're all there to cheer on the team. That's all we're there for. Everything else gets left at the door. And that's intentional.
Yeah.
And I think actually that's something, sometimes the league has its ups and downs, but I think that's something that MLS has done a good job at, as focusing on at least trying to send out the message of equality, welcomeness, inclusiveness, and I think that's important.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
for
that's
sure.
super important.
It really is. And I think you're seeing that globally as well.
Yeah.
Even in other leagues, other teams, all over the place. And I think part of that is just the game that actually happens on the field. Because, you look at football and different position groups have different targets, and look at the NFL draft and how they're measuring. And if you're a quarterback, you have to be in this range of height. And if you're an offensive lineman, it's this. And
It's a Baker Mayfield. He's the best quarterback ever.
well, here we go, Brownies.
That's right.
But then you look at basketball especially, and if you're not tall and of a certain build, you're not going to be playing
Right.
certain. And there's very few exceptions. You've got the
Muggsy Bogues.
like Nash and Muggsy Bogues, like the white short Canadian guy is somehow a good back. Okay, so you have exceptions to the rule, but when you start looking at soccer, every race, color, creed, gender, nationality, body type, you have big stacked
Everything.
guys out there. You have small.
You have Messi.
You have Messi.
He's
Yeah.
smaller than me.
And who's that? Adorama, the guy at Wolves,
Yeah.
who's like, this guy's like a bodybuilder out there, and you have tall, skinny, like Peter Crouch, and you've got, little tiny guys, Messi, and everyone else running around it. And it doesn't matter any stat. It matters how you play and making sure that your style of play and your particular skill set matches up with the team and your position.
And you have to be a team player.
Yeah.
Because if you are not a team player, it doesn't matter how much skill you have, you're not worth it.
Correct. Yeah. LeBron James with 4 guys on his day will win the championship. You put Messi on a team of 10 guys.
Messi on FC Cincy, and they still are the worst team in the league.
Yeah, it's clear.
They still can't beat Real Esteli.
No.
And Messi thinks hell is real.
Yeah, right. So we'll sign him instead.
You think he's going to City?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope not. Should go to Arsenal. They need him desperately.
There you go.
Any help they can get.
That's awesome. Carrie, do you have any other questions? Just to put you on the spot awkwardly, of course.
Well, why don't we talk about the drop-off boxes
Okay.
here at Endeavor?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Because giving back to the community is important to us. Part of this lovely beer that we're drinking, and again, it is amazing, is giving a part of the proceeds are going to support Mid-Ohio Food Bank.
Yeah, and actually, so it's a slightly higher price point if you notice than a lot of beers, but $2 from every single 4-pack is going directly to the charitable contributions. So a lot of that markup in there is actually direct giving to it. So that kind of explains that higher price point immediately.
So that's giving point one, but giving point two is I've been seeing so many people in the crew fan base on Twitter talking about their vaccines. Day 2.
By the way,
Not the
we have
second
all
one.
been vaccinated, and that's a large reason why we're here in this room right now with that.
Safety
Now-
first,
Safety
and then
first.
teamwork.
Safety fourth.
As things open back up again, come into Endeavor. We have boxes here as a second way of giving back to our community through Mid-Ohio Food Bank. We have boxes here for any non-perishable goods, canned goods, spaghetti, whatever. Please bring it in, drop it off as you come to watch over the next few weeks. Hopefully everybody's getting vaccinated and you'll be back watching some of the games here, some of the away games. So please drop off your canned goods here and we'll get back to Columbus a little bit, help some people a little less fortunate than us.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for organizing that.
Oh, we love it.
We're so happy
Thank
to
you for
help
doing
and
it.
have those boxes out. Absolutely.
It's exciting. As a group, the Nordecke is about the most giving group of people you could ever imagine, even through COVID. And this is not going to be anywhere near a full list, but we donated $4,500 to Voices Now, which is the Zach Steffen charity looking to work for equality and very community oriented as well. To the NAACP, we donated $11,000 through the sale of the Black Lives Matter shirts to the Columbus Urban League. At the start of the season before COVID, we collected 5 carloads of professional clothes that we donated to Dress for Success. Gosh, I can't even think of it all. There's been so much, but this community is just amazingly giving. And so we want to see that continue. And again, this is another
That's
way
amazing.
people can get involved. If anybody wants to come to us and says, my passion is X charity, great. You
Awesome.
come to me, tell me that, and we will set you loose. You can coordinate any sort of fundraiser. We will support it. We want to give back to this community. Columbus gave us the chance to save this team, and we want to give Columbus what they deserve in return, and that's everything.
I love
So
that.
we're
Do you
there
have
here
an
for it.
email where people could reach out to you if they had a charity in mind, or
Sure.
maybe they can come through us, or
They
Would we
can,
like-
if they want to come through you, that's great. We have a website, nordecke.com, and they can reach out to us through there. There's a contact option through that website, so they can do that as well.
Great.
So we'll get
great.
back to them, and we're happy to do. For example, I'll just give you an example. We had one person who came to me last year, actually, at our General Assembly meeting here, and she said she and her husband have been collecting the can tabs for Nationwide Children's, which is a sponsor of the crew. It goes toward supporting kidney dialysis for children. And so we're currently working with the crew to get a drop box at the stadium for can tabs, which hopefully there'll be a lot from tailgates, a lot from Endeavor can.
These are
right
yeah,
here,
yeah, there
right
we go.
here they are. People will save those and be able to drop those off then at the stadium in support of the crew sponsor, Nationwide Children's. And so those are the things that we can facilitate. So it can be something as simple as that. Just you have a passion, something you're doing. All I did was talk to the crew and say, we need a drop off place. That's it. And we're going to make that happen. And the lady who brought that to me will take responsibility for collecting them, getting it to the Nationwide Children's, and it's that easy.
That's
So
awesome.
just let us know if you have a passion, and we'd love to have you involved.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. We've at Endeavor too, we've got a pretty strong philosophy that's the same. Like if you're in this community and you're wanting to do good, we're going to do whatever we can to support you. Carrie here's actually been doing a lot of our new programs with a number of charities where she's doing virtual cocktail classes. So Carrie here went to culinary school, has a really strong background in cocktails, and I know how to make beer. I know how to make spirits. I don't know much about cocktail creation and that kind of stuff. And she, on the other hand, is absolutely fantastic at all of that. So we've worked with a number of charities doing virtual cocktail classes and raised a decent amount of money for some of these charities as well.
Yeah.
Want to mention?
Yeah, sure. So what we've been doing, we kind of had to innovate and rethink our program a little bit when the world shut down. So that's when we got the idea of doing things virtually. So because a lot of nonprofit foundations, they were having to miss their galas and their annual, fundraisers. So we started reaching out, and we've had some reach out to us. We've gotten to work with Columbus Humane and March of Dimes, Magical Moments. So we've done a lot of different various foundations. And we do a virtual cocktail class, and people come and they pick their kits up, and it's all ready to go. We have 3 or 4 different packages that you can choose from, and then a portion of every ticket sold goes back to their foundation. So we've been able to raise a lot of money for a lot of different foundations, and it's been a blast. I mean, it's been different doing things virtually. You don't have that personal connection, but I think it really, I don't know how to describe it. It's not, you're not seeing the person in person, you're almost connecting in a more real way because you're seeing them at home, or in a sweatshirt, or, you got their kitchen in the background or their kids running around behind you all crazy. And it brings people connected or together a little bit more, even from a distance, if that makes sense.
I feel a crew cocktail class coming up.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I think we're going to have to talk.
We've got tailgates coming up. Yeah.
And that would be great. I would love
We should
to.
actually do a
tailgate cocktail class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we could set up and record some stuff from an actual tailgate and do some cocktail experiments.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
So the next batch is born. So
Yeah.
as a spinoff, and we'll figure out the charity that we want to donate and make a lot of that good proceeds go to. So
nice. Oh,
all right. Yeah, this is why we have these meetings.
Meetings of the mind.
The meeting.
And Columbus is the most giving town. It's not even just Crew and Nordecke.
Oh, no.
And this town is phenomenal.
Yep.
We couldn't have saved the Crew anywhere else.
No. No way.
The people in this town are the smartest, most giving group of people that I had no idea the depths.
Me neither. I was like, really? You do that?
Yeah, it's an amazing, amazing city. We can make anything happen here.
Yep. I like Scott was saying, I went to culinary school. I'm 40, so this is 20 years ago, and back then we studied Columbus in a marketing class. And as far as it's such a food driven city. So obviously we had to touch on that in culinary school, but in marketing, and we literally talked about Columbus specifically out of every city in the entire country. I'm up in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Boo.
Where's your button there?
Yeah.
We're going to go
And
just hit a wall. Yeah.
Just anything really. I'm used to it. But so it's interesting that we're, up there and we're researching and talking about and, kind of modeling what you can be. It's really a cool city.
It's an amazing place.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys both from here?
Yeah, I'm from Westerville.
Okay.
I was born in Indiana, but I've been here. I'm old, and I've been here since I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
So close enough.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah,
You're
that's
from here.
We'll claim you. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
happy to have you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, if you've already purchased the Nordecke beer, you can come pick it up next week, starting on Wednesday the 14th, I believe. We're canning it out on the 13th. and we'll have some on tap here as well. Remember, $2 from every single 4-pack sold will go to the charitable organization. Also bring some canned foods. Going to be awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the beer and the artwork on here.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot going on this can. I'm going to hold it up to the camera here so you can kind of see that. And then, Ethan, why don't you just kind of tell me what you're seeing?
All right. Well, I'll just start on stage right over here. So first off, we have a person with a shark head on, which I love because the "Are You Okay, Dawn" shark meme thing that we've been doing, and I actually made that 2-stick. Thank you. Then we have the big kind of tifo here. Columbus is the greatest team the world's ever seen, which is in homage to the tifo that we made. It's also in the hallway down here at Endeavor in their nice fancy frame. And then I think this is Kruby. I don't know.
Oh, where's that? Down at the
Next to the shark?
Yeah, I think so.
I
So
believe so.
all of the people that you see in the crowd were actually taken from Instagram and Facebook posts from the Nordecke's Instagram and Facebook. And those are the silhouettes of actual fans from actual posts at actual games.
Yeah, it's the detail is impressive.
Yeah.
And then we got the trophy, of course, there. Then we've got guy with the hammer,
Thor's hammer. Yeah.
of course. And then it looks like, suspiciously, like this is the outline of the Golden Girls, and I have no idea what connection that might have.
Well,
with the team.
there's really, yeah, and we're not going to violate copyright infringement
No.
or anything like that.
It
but
just looks
could
like
be Blanche and
a nice group of
Sophia.
Older women.
older women that just enjoy upping the lads. Then we got the guy in the middle holding the scarf, of course. This is lad upping. We got the Ohio flag in the crew colors, which is a wonderful design. I own one of the flags. We have some animals. I don't know what those are there for.
Are those skunks?
Might be. I don't. They're black and white, which are crew colors, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one's name Josh?
Maybe Jay.
Josh J. Yeah,
Sajay. I don't know. I don't know. We got the megaphone, of course.
clearly.
Of course. And then we got this Gumbino. It's not Gumby, it's Gumbino,
Correct.
which I think that is wonderful on a can. And then we keep moving. We've got the 10-12 on the clock.
Yeah,
It's a very historic day in my life.
it's actually my
In a lot of
birthday.
people's life.
And it's
You're
actually
right.
the day the crew was saved.
Right.
So,
Like-
yeah,
You had that planned the whole time.
planned.
16 fluid ounces in because of Hector Jimenez, of course.
Clearly.
Wonderful, wonderful player. I'm sorry that you don't play for us anymore. I have a pair of your shorts that I bought at the gear sale. The alcohol percentage is 4.96, which the scientists they have in the back of this place, it's incredible.
Precision.
Precision. That is what I think when I think Endeavor. And then we go up. We have the Eagle, which made an appearance at many former podcasts that were recorded in this room. And then if we go back across, we have some bumblebees.
Also a reference to the Columbus Eagles, which is a shout out to the women's soccer team in town.
It works in two
Absolutely.
It
levels.
works on several
Wow.
levels.
See, that's why there's two.
Yep.
We've got the Crew Eagle and then the Columbus Eagle.
Yeah, correct.
Zzz.
Eagles.
Absolutely.
And then it's kind of Lord of the Rings as well. So
Oh yeah. Man, and then we've got the bees for the beehive, the hive,
The
of
Hive.
course, the greatest supporters group ever in the history of the entire game of soccer.
they're amazing.
Yes, very much so.
I can't wait for my daughter to become a member of the Hive.
Uh-huh. I'm one of the first 15. I'm actually a member of the hive too.
And if
even though
you
I'm a
don't
little
know,
bit
the Hive is a group of
course.
young girl fans of the Columbus Crew. So fandom is not just for adults. It's
Mm-mm.
not just for rowdy people. I'm old. The Hive are young. There are people of all age groups that are
Yeah.
involved with the crew.
And then I recently learned that these are music notes along the bottom that are of a wonderful song by Toto that you might not have heard.
You may or may not have heard at either a game or perhaps playing in our bathrms here at Endeavor.
On
Yes.
repeat.
on repeat.
And that's the song I hear when I wake up every morning. It's just Toto Africa in my brain. Just gets me going for the day. I think that's all of them. I don't know if there's some that I missed because there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on there. There are many an Easter egg hanging out in this can.
Like, is there like a Bigfoot on here anywhere?
There is, yes.
I figured there was.
Every single can of beer we have ever released and will ever release has a Sasquatch rampant.
That's why I keep coming back. That's why I come back.
And all of our liquor actually has Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, on it with a nod to Scotland. So when it's combined, you get Sasquatch riding Nessie.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Social distancing champions 2020.
All right. Well, now I've got to find that.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen it either.
Good at hiding things.
Oh.
well, he is the world hide and seek champion.
Right.
so
Him and
he's
Waldo.
Very good. Very good at hiding.
And the beer tastes great as well, of course.
It
Well,
does.
good.
It's
Joe, do
really
you need a
good.
refill there?
Sure.
Okay. We'll top you off. Carrie?
But I got to find
Sure.
a Sasquatch first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah, this is going to drive me crazy. I don't have one I can take home yet. So,
You got to find it now.
yeah. No, I don't see it. I think you're lying to me.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's this lumpy fan. Maybe that's the Sasquatch.
Lumpy fan? Oh, wow. This is Lumpy fan.
Whose Instagram was that?
All right.
I mean, don't you think?
Lumpy fan.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Okay.
That's a lumpy fan.
That'd be a good supporters group.
It's
The Lumpy fans.
the lumpy
a
fan
kid
doesn't
with
have a
lumpy
clear
on the-
head.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Oh man, Scott.
How do I know?
Dang.
Maybe
I
more
don't see
challenging.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it one of those
But I guessed
pictures where
right.
you
I
have to
figured there
stare
would
at
be.
it
There's-
from a
there's
distance?
always a
I didn't
Sasquatch,
know that there
yes.
always was, but I thought there might be.
Every can. Yes. Always. Always.
I don't know.
And the cups.
Oh, we have
I-
a drummer.
I like
I haven't
these
noticed
ones.
the
I
guy
stole
with the
this from-
drumsticks before. A
Mhm.
girl.
Yeah. The glasses
So you
say,
see the
I
character
stole this
right
from
next?
Endeavor Brewing.
Wow.
Yeah,
What's that?
With outlines, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
Lumpy
Bigfoot.
fan.
I mean, it's not going to be easy.
Sasquatch, it could be anything.
Did you have a blanket over your
You know,
head?
the actual labels would be a slightly crisper, clearer print as well. So
That's why.
these are.
Yeah.
This is actually not the beer in these cans. These are printed out laser printer labels out of sample artwork. And when we actually have the professionally printed rolls, then we'll have a lot more sort of stark detail in there.
HD.
HD. Coming to you live in 4K.
Yeah. On your can.
Yeah, I think
This
it
is good beer.
turned out really
It
well.
is
huh?
really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to be happy with this all summer long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll have some down at
You're
the
going to have
tailgate,
to.
too.
There's going to have to be a round two. You know, you can't just do Nordecke Brew round one.
It's like a eagle. It doesn't fly with just one wing.
Okay.
Gotta have that second.
That's true.
that second.
That's just science.
That's just science.
Because although
60% of the time, it works every time.
Right.
I did buy my four packs. I like draft beer.
That's
best.
only 16 beers.
So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
And once it goes on sale, so obviously there's the pre-sale that we limited people to, and then we should still have some available just for walkout carry out. And again, $2 from every 4-pack will go directly to the charity, regardless of if you buy it in advance or you come on in. While supplies last, it's a limited run, but of course we're certainly already kind of having
sky is the
conversations about some more batches of this to come.
Awesome.
So yeah. Great. You find another Carrie?
It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts.
I gave
Do
up.
you know where
I
it
think
is?
the lumpy
It's like a
fan
pirate
is it.
walking into a bar
I
with
think it's the
a
lumpy
wheel.
fan.
I think it's this one under the elbow.
No spoilers,
Looks
though.
like a
You got to let
tree.
the people find out
Okay.
themselves.
Yep. That could be it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Is this it?
Let me see. I don't have my glasses on. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Down in there.
Okay.
Yep. Right under there.
Maybe when it's
A little crisper. Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll pop through.
But it's Bigfoot, so that's kind of the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be.
I think
lumpy.
everything else should have been like HD, and then Bigfoot would be blurry.
Sasquatch is naturally blurry. That's why every
Now, is it
photo
preferred
or video-
Sasquatch or Bigfoot, or does it like?
You know, it depends on the individual Sasquanoidal species and
I've watched a
how
lot
they
of Bigfoot
identify.
things, but I never really. Okay,
we have to be
that's
sensitive to their
Yeah.
personal identity.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, from a technical point of view, there are Sasquanoidal species that
Of
cover
course.
Bigfoots, grassmen, skunk apes, all of
How many
those.
types do you think?
I mean, there's at least
I've literally had this conversation before, so I kind of want to hear what you're
in the Sasquatchoidal taxonomy, I
Yeah.
think there's at least a dozen.
Wow.
I would think, yeah.
So last person I interviewed about this
Sure.
was only 3. There was the like woods,
Okay.
then there was the swamp, and then
Okay.
there was the snow,
The Yeti,
Yeah.
if you will. Yeah.
if you will, of course.
Yeah.
But 12, I like this. We'll talk off air about
'Cause
that.
yeah,
more.
we'll
I
talk
have a
off
lot
air.
of questions.
Some good friends of ours, actually, the Shill Brothers, who do Shill Brothers Outdoors YouTube channel, and I've been on that a couple of times. They're going to be on this podcast or this YouTube in a couple of weeks as well. But they just interviewed a couple of weeks ago on their Backcountry BSing channel, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, I think's his name. If you've ever seen any Bigfoot documentary on Discovery Channel, History Channel, he's the scientist.
Oh, then I've seen him.
Then you've seen him.
Anytime.
Like I pull up
Many
that,
times.
you've seen him.
Every
many
month,
times.
I just on Netflix,
And-
I just type in Bigfoot and see what pops up.
He was on their YouTube channel. They are on a Zoom call, kind of plugged right in the middle, and they interviewed him
Alright.
for an hour talking about big
Brilliant.
feet and Sasquatchoids. Yeah, it was.
I could talk about this. I could talk about this for hours, honestly.
We're probably going to have an entire episode at some point in the future with just a Sasquatch panel, and maybe we'll try to dial him in as well.
We should
And-
bring Lincoln and Fitz onto that one.
Sasquatch panel.
man.
So Lincoln didn't even, that's my son's name. He's 5. He
And
didn't
Fitz is
even
my son, who's 4.
hear.
Is he a tantrum?
Sometimes it's one of his favorite songs is by Fitz and the
Of
Tantrums.
course, it has to be.
Clearly.
Lincoln had never even heard about Bigfoot until he came here. So he comes and hangs out with me from time to time. And for the next 2 weeks, it was every bedtime, every question. Is that real? Is it real? Oh, well, where does he live? How big is he?
Let's
Is he
check
as big as
YouTube.
our house? Like literally YouTube. I mean, now he's on to
Yes.
King Kong, but for a while it was all
He'll go
about
back.
Bigfoot.
He'll go back. I've been watching YouTube Bigfoot videos for years. It's great. Super entertaining. Ancient aliens. That's great entertainment too.
That's mine.
Literally.
The aliens. We have a place out in Texas, and the weird things you see in the sky,
Is it
when
like
you can
queso?
really see the sky,
Of
like
course.
I think it's the only dark skies place in the U.S.
Wow.
And the things you see in the sky, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
what was that?
But you've never.
I'm not
got
saying it
on
was
video.
aliens, but
You see that light going slowly across the
Suspiciously?
sky.
It's
It looks like
weird.
it could almost be like
Oh.
a satellite moving across the sky or some distant object. The only possible explanation is aliens.
Mhm.
Now, this will be
How do you
like,
make a pyramid?
you're looking at the beautiful stars because it's a dark star area.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden there'll be this bright, whoo!
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what was
Baker
that?
Just came
Mayfield,
the warp drive.
Baker Mayfield saw a UFO with his
He did.
or his wife a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
and he believes in Bigfoot, as was confirmed in his haircut episode.
Everything about Baker Mayfield just makes him better and better, in my opinion. Browns winning the Super Bowl this season.
And the
gonna
crew
happen.
winning a championship as
Again,
well.
back to back. 2 out of 3. U.S. Open Cup, MLS Cup, Champions League. 2 out of those 3.
There you
The
go.
Haslams are blessed now that they,
Now that
Save
they bought
the
the
crew.
crew. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kind of brought the Browns
Yeah.
organization, turned them around too.
They needed us.
Absolutely.
They
That's
needed
all
us.
they needed.
And my 2
Clearly.
favorite sports organizations of all time combining just to make my life great. It's wonderful.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sasquatchery. It's gonna be awesome. So my son Fitz, it's funny that we've indoctrinated him into the whole Sasquatch thing since day one. My parents have a place out in Evergreen, Colorado. About 30-minute drive down the road is a little town called Bailey, where the Sasquatch outpost happens to be. And this place is fantastic. If you're ever out in the Front Range of Colorado, just south of Evergreen, Conifer, down that way, there's a town called Bailey and Sasquatch Outpost. It's got a museum that you can walk through and see the evidence of all the
I'm going
Sasquatch.
there this summer.
There's an entire gift
What's
shop.
I
happening?
was going to say, you and Allison and
Oh,
Scott
yeah.
and I need to go.
Oh,
to
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, we're road tripping this summer. We are going.
We're going to be out there. So Allison and you let me know.
And Betty Jean, we're bringing Betty, her little puppy.
Yes, we'll have our dog Stewart out
She's
there.
here now, but
also.
I can't give her bone because I'm in this room.
We'll talk off camera.
Oh yeah.
Organize this.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we bought him a tiny little. We actually have one here at the bar at Endeavor on the little shelf over the door behind the bar. We bought him a little Sasquatch, and I did my part, and it became his favorite toy. So he brought this
So
Squatch.
it's a little foot instead of a big foot.
Well, it's Bigfoot, but it's little, you know. So yeah,
Little Bigfoot.
Little Bigfoot.
precisely.
a good band name, actually, Little
Smallfoot, which is
Bigfoot.
actually an underrated film.
And Littlefoot from The Land Before Time.
True.
Underrated film too. And then they made 20 of them and they're not very good anymore. But
The original was
The
so
original was
sad.
wonderful, though.
heart-wrenching.
Heartbreaking.
Tearjerker.
Tree stars. I miss them.
So the next time we were out in Colorado, however, we decided that because this was his favorite creature, we bought like 6 backup Sasquatch,
Smart.
right?
Now is it, yeah, Sasquatch. I was
The
about that.
plural of Sasquatch is Sasquatch.
Is it Bigfoot and big feet?
Yes,
Or big
correct.
feet? Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Tolkien taught us that with proud feet,
Oh, well, of course.
clearly.
I must defer to him.
We're all nerds here. It's okay.
Isn't it fantastic? Totally not soccer, not Sasquatch oriented, but how good it is to be a nerd
wonderful
as an
sentence.
adult.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it's awesome.
oh man.
When you were
I can
a
play all the
kid,
video games I
Mhm.
want.
it sucked
Mhm.
in the worst way, but now as an adult, I'm
Mhm.
like proud nerd.
And there's the
All the
internet
way.
where
Yeah.
you can connect
It's
with
the
other
best.
weirdos. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. And I think that nerddom is now actually become cool,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
which is kind of
We are
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even amongst youngst people, you know.
The youngin. Yeah.
Youngins, yeah.
It's good to be old.
Yeah.
It really is.
Except for all like the
Like-
shoulder and knee pain I don't like, but other than that, it's all right. I make my own bedtime. I can eat ice cream for
Yeah.
dinner if I want. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So many benefits.
So many benefits.
So
I bought that with my own money.
you have more of it when you're
I
older.
saved up
you
for
know?
Right.
That's fantastic. And this is why we call this Endeavor BS, right? Which again stands for
Brewing
Brewing
Spirits.
Spirits.
Brewing and spirits.
No other possible way to interpret
Nothing
that
else
particular
at all.
combination of letters,
Yes.
clearly. And the beers are settling in too. So that's good.
Yeah, they're great.
I'm gonna have a fair amount of Nordecke brew this summer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be great when it's nice and hot outside.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Crisp.
It's really good.
It is. It's really good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
I think it's funny that we get that a lot here. Our brewmaster Cameron has his master's in brewing from Germany, and he works for North Coast Brewing out in California.
I went to
and-
the wrong college.
Yeah, I know. He and I were both former middle school and high school literature teachers.
So what you're saying is
You
I
taught
can go back to
English.
school. All
There you
right.
go, there you go.
Heard that.
And he scrapped it all, went over to Germany and studied brewing. And we're really blessed to have it because all of his beers are fantastic.
Mhm.
And this beer is a good example of that we truly believe that the best beers reward your attention. They don't demand your attention. And I think it's largely a disservice to the craft beer crowd that a lot of breweries tend to think that more is better. It's sort of the Texas mentality. No offense. That
Some of us in Texas.
throw more, except for Austin, because Precor. Yeah. People just tend to put more into it and think it's better, and it's not necessarily the case. And so what you get are these pastry stouts that are at the top and they're single note and they're roast malt or they're whatever it
chewy.
is. They're chewy, the texture's off, the balance is off, it's not there. You get fruited beers that they just dump puree into. You get the haze craze where they stir things into it to make it artificially hazy. There's a lot of things that just don't make for good beer from an objective point of view. Everyone has a preference, and that's fine. And we make a variety of beers to meet those preferences. But all of our beers strive for balance and quality and control over all those aspects. And I think this is a really good beer because it showcases that. It's a simple beer. It's straightforward. Not a lot of BS going on.
It's perfect for what it's meant to be.
That's what it's meant to do.
Exactly.
The other thing that I
drinking
like
beer.
about Cam and how he brews is we learned about the idea in culinary school as far as food and beer. It's meant to be consumed, yes, but it's meant to be enjoyed with people, friends, family, things like that. So
Tailgates.
yeah, tailgates, all the tailgates. So making, you can make a gourmet meal or have a fantastic beer and sit down by yourself. It doesn't taste as good as when you're around people. So the great thing about how Cam brews, I think, is his beers are approachable and inclusive. Again, they draw a lot of people in with a variety of preferences and tastes and backgrounds. You can be an IPA drinker, a porter drinker, stouts. I like lagers and a good Kolsch. I like, that sort of stuff. Yeah. But I also enjoy his Hefeweizen and IPA. And where a lot of breweries I go to, it's off-putting. It's too much. You can take something and slam it with a bunch of hops and call it better. Same as you can take a really nice dish and slam it with a bunch of peppers. And because it's so hot, you call it better. It's not. Like, you can't taste the food. You can't taste what's going on in the beer when so having that balanced approach, I think, it's an inclusive feeling, where you can come here and you can be somebody like me who drinks lighter beers, but still appreciate and like all the beers, as opposed to you go some places and you're like, there's maybe one or two beers that I'll drink because the other ones, I'm chewing them or they're bitter or it's, too much. Too much isn't always better.
The IPA thing these days.
Ugh.
I am not an IPA fan.
Me neither.
I get that people are, and that's fine. Everybody has their thing. But I've been to breweries where every beer they make is an IPA.
Yeah.
I had to force myself to
people.
like them because that's all.
That's
everybody
all.
serves.
That's all
Yeah.
there is.
But then I drink beers because I like it.
Yeah. But Cam's IPA, even if a non-IPA drinker, I like it.
Mhm.
So an
Shocking. And it's got a
IPA
great name,
drinker likes it also. So it's interesting how you can brew and you can make something that takes people from two polar opposites and we both like the same beer.
Yeah.
I'm so excited you have your Kolsch back because the Kolsch has been gone for a little while, and that was my first favorite Endeavor beer.
Fantastic.
And
Yeah.
I am super glad it's back.
Yeah, and we've got a little bit of it left, so it's not back for all that much longer.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, we've got to kind of balance out what we keep year round and what we do seasonally and here and there. And COVID threw a whole monkey wrench into all of those plans, obviously. But so we're happy to kind of be getting back into moving some volume and kind of keeping batches turned over.
Talk about my puppy, not a person.
Oh yeah, I see your puppy has arrived. Oh
my gosh, so cute. I love dogs.
Eugene.
Yeah.
She's adorable, of course.
We all love dogs here at Endeavor and
Mhm.
Nordecke as well.
There's like a lot of dogs here right now too. It's great. I keep seeing them. I can't pet them.
I can't wait. We just got Lincoln a new puppy.
What kind?
Okay, so she's a Great Pyrenees
Oh,
Akbash. So
I
I
don't
guess
even know
Those
what an
are.
Akbash
I've never heard that
they're
word in my entire life.
primarily native to Texas. So the owner actually drove down to Texas to get her purebreds Akbash, and they're guardian dogs, same as the Great Pyrenees, about 90
Fluffy
to
also?
no, they're shorter hair, white.
Okay.
And so she went down to Texas to get her too, and the neighboring farm, purebred Great Pyrenees, jumped the fence and that happened. So she's just a wonderful person. And it was one of those things where, oh my God, like we're never going to find an opportunity like this again. So we got Lincoln.
Can you just throw this
he
through
named
the
her
door?
Emma. And she's going to be massive.
I would say, yeah. I mean, a Great Pyrenees is not a small dog.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're teaching him now, like, it's fun to let her like jump on you now and everything, but
It's not.
wait in about
Betty's
like
gonna be like 80 pounds.
6 weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when are you getting the saddle?
That's a real question, though. Like
yeah.
honestly, like.
Oh yeah, he has already tried to sit on her, and she's
So
10 weeks.
I'm a total dog person.
Mm-hmm.
Rescue, all that stuff. You know what to do when they jump on you, right? When they jump on you,
Okay.
walk toward them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Come at them because that forces them down, and they will learn.
You have to
not
be the
do
pack
it.
leader. We've watched
Mhm.
all of The Dog Whisperer, and it's
Sweet.
on
Caesar
Disney
Milan.
Plus. Caesar Milan.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Just
My
no
husband keeps
reaction, just
Yep.
toward them.
Mm-hmm.
No touch, no talk, no eye contact.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
And
We've
if
been
they touch
trying
you
to
first, you
teach
can touch them
Lincoln,
back to be like, I'm in charge.
like what we've been trying to, because she'll like go up like this and try to like, and so like he'll take his hand and gently like push her down and say,
Just
sit.
walk into it.
And
Yep.
then she sits. Oh, okay.
Just
Because
that's
be
she'll
good.
fall,
calm.
if she
Yep.
stays up, she'll fall over backwards. She doesn't
Okay.
want to do that.
Yep.
Walk into it
Okay.
and then walk away.
Calm and
Got
assertive.
it.
That's all you got to
All right.
do. It's all about your energy.
Yep.
Don't get frustrated. You just
She's going to be a great dog. We've already taught her lay down, sit. She come to my husband, but not to me. And I keep like trying to like change my tone of voice. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like I'm getting frustrated, but she comes to
Use
him
treats.
just fine.
Yep. It just takes reps.
And she
It takes time.
probably
Yeah.
senses that frustration.
But from a
That's
few
true.
days
It's a
having
fact.
her, like we have a huge backyard and neighbors. So we took her out, we had a bonfire, and she's just off the leash. She's just around us. She's very chill. She's not running around or trying to
Big dogs are the best.
Great temperament.
I'm a big fan of big
Great
dogs.
temperament. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lab for 14 years and amazing dog. But then when I moved back to Columbus, I was in a little half of a duplex, a little backyard, and I went to a rescue home. This lady had 8-9 dogs. I was going to go meet, and this dachshund fell asleep on my lap. This
Aw.
1-year-old dog, so he chose me.
That's it. Yeah.
Named him
Mhm.
Figo after Louis Figo, actually, and he passed away last summer at the age of 13.
Okay. All right.
Which was crazy. So
Yeah.
he had a long, beautiful life.
We're a
Absolutely.
pit bull family.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. Yeah. We do some work with dog rescues. Actually, I think we're going to be doing some
Mhm.
stuff in the pretty near future with Pro Rescue. One of our good friends, Ashley,
Mhm.
runs or is heavily involved with Pro Rescue. She does an awesome job with rescues, and we sometimes have bulletins here. And their website's fantastic. So if you are looking for adoption and good dogs with people that know what they're doing and rescues that do it right,
Yep.
that's certainly one. There's a number of them around.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And-
Columbus
Yeah.
has a lot of really.
That's all we got
yeah.
for Betty.
Quality.
She's a rescue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's from
Did
Kentucky.
you name her after
Yeah.
Betty's Bar?
She's from Kentucky, but also that might have been a little bit on it because that's the closest bar to the new stadium. And it's
Yeah.
purple and it's wonderful. Never been there. It's a Columbus staple.
It's the easy button.
Purple.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great.
Oh my
man.
goodness. Betty.
Betty.
I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah, she's
Right
chewing on a
there,
bone
so-
now. She'll be chill, hopefully.
How old is she?
7 months. Yeah, she's baby. That's not her. That's a.
Oh,
That's somebody else.
I'm like, whoa.
There's
she's
a
gonna
bunch
be
of
big.
dogs.
There's a lot of
She's
them.
gonna be big. No, she's gonna be big. but-
Betty doesn't look small, so.
Yeah, her paws are like as big as this can, and she's 7 months. She's gonna be a big girl,
Wow.
but she's good. It's great.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
I like big dogs.
She's been here a couple times. She's been pretty chill. That's what we want.
Yeah.
I have to wait until after the 6 month. Her vet said to wait. She recommended waiting 6 months for, dog parks and so like a little bit of socializing with dogs that we know are 100% vaccinated and things like that. But I mean, here I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah. Betty had parvo when we got her, so
Oh my
so
gosh.
she had like basically dog COVID.
Yeah.
So like we couldn't
Oh.
take her off of our property because
Yeah.
other dogs
Right.
might get sick.
Yeah.
Right.
So for our first 2 weeks, we had to just walk her around the house.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
But
Dog COVID that's existed since
forever.
Forever.
we've had dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it happens when you're from the streets. But that's why it's a rescue. Like we
Yeah.
literally
Mean
rescued
streets
her.
of Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's mean streets of Kentucky somewhere.
Oh,
I don't know where.
Yeah.
We picked her up behind a Cracker Barrel
Oh.
That's even better.
out of a random brown van, drove by Mona.
Wow.
All right.
But it's through a rescue program, Pet Promise. They're
Okay.
great too.
Yeah, they are great.
They are
Sure is.
wonderful,
They are
but they're helping out Kentucky, and we got an amazing puppy. So
That's cool. Very cool.
we
Wow.
foster failed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're starting to get a little bit of rain here, which is
Uh-huh.
kind of curious.
How
So,
Yeah,
about
I
the
saw a
rains?
bunch of people coming in from the patio
Yeah.
a little bit ago.
It got real gray all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Definitely a little overcast and some rain coming down. So
It wasn't supposed to happen today. That was tomorrow.
I thought it was today and tomorrow.
They're always wrong. It doesn't
They're
matter.
always wrong.
I just
It
hope it
was
doesn't happen
tomorrow
next
and
week when we're making
Sunday.
TIFO. It's TIFO Sweat
Watch out.
Tuesday and Friday at the stadium if you want to paint things, and hopefully it's not raining and it gets all destroyed.
And seriously, come. It is so much fun.
So much fun.
And we have had kids probably as young as like 5
Oh.
help.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
If you can stay close to staying in the lines and when you're
Yeah.
painting, just come hang out.
Because
It's
there's
fun.
always background to paint.
Mhm.
You don't have to be able to paint.
And even if you mess
Detail.
up, it's Saul from like 150 feet away. I've made huge mistakes that nobody knows about but me. It's great. And it's fun.
So if someone wants to do that, where do they go?
Ideally, you contact the Nordecke, slide into the DMs on Twitter or something and make Jeff figure it out. And then you get hooked into
Thanks, Jeff.
the Slack, which is where most of that information goes out. I'm just really bad at Twitter. I'm sorry. But I'll try to be better. But yeah, contact the Nordecke and just come hang out. We just paint. You don't even have to really. If you don't want to, you can just hang out and drink
It's
beers
so
with
much
us.
fun.
Yeah, we just kind of hang out and we can stay far away from each other and it's outside. So if you want something to do on Tuesday, if you want to help sew and trace things, it's not as exciting, but we need people. And then Friday is the painting. And that's the fun part.
NORDECKE.com.
It's on the can and then just put like .com on it. You can't see that. It's too dark, but
Yep.
Nordecke.com.
It's so much fun. And
is.
again, totally kid friendly.
Yeah.
Happy
Everybody
to have
is
kids
welcome.
there. Nobody is going to be like, oh, you brought your kid. We love it. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bring your kids, let them help.
That's one thing that's so nice about soccer, and I think it's one advantage. It's one of the few soccer advantages that we have in the United States is the complete family friendliness.
Oh
of
yeah.
it. Like I love taking Fitz to soccer games. He gets excited about seeing Crew Cat, and it's just crazy, and he loves it. And I have no problem bringing my kid into the Nordecke,
Mhm.
into the supporter section
No.
where people are standing and cheering, and he is going to be completely fine. Even going to a Browns game, you see kids getting beers. Drunk
Yeah.
guy trips over someone and dumps a
Yeah.
beer on this girl's head behind us.
You don't know anybody around you.
No.
Mhm.
And no
Exactly.
way I'm going to take the Fitz that Boca match in Buenos Aires. I've been to matches in Brazil and Mexico and Chile and in Scotland. I don't think I would take a 4-year-old into any of those environments.
No.
But I will absolutely take him to a crew match.
Crew fans can be a little wild and crazy at times, but they love their kids. All
Yeah.
the kids that
It's only
are involved,
because of the
and they
soccer
will-
part that you get crazy. It's
That-
not you're actually
yeah.
insane.
that
Well, most of the
whole
time. Except for Josh Williams.
protective-
Yeah.
Again, I'm not allowed to talk about Josh Williams.
every child that's in there, every person in that group will lay down their lives for that kid.
Oh yeah.
You may hear a couple swear words, can't say you won't, but beyond that, that child will be cherished. Bring your kids. It's a
Yes.
great, great environment. They will be encouraged to be all they can be.
I agree. Because I was one of them.
Lincoln actually
I
was the
became-
first one to put headphones on here with his little crew hoodie
Yeah, we
with Scott.
we set these up a little bit ago to test this whole thing out, and Lincoln came in, had fun playing around on the microphones. So at some point, we're going to have both of our sons on this
Oh yeah.
Very
and just
fun.
let
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
4 and the
Just let 'em go.
5-year-old
Yeah.
talk. So that's going to be an absolute shit show
Yeah.
that I won't be able to
Sasquatch.
describe as a shit show
Bigfoot.
with the 4 and a 5-year-old
Yeah.
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
Mythical creatures,
We're going
Mhm.
to talk about
toys. There's a lot. There's a lot to
all
talk
of
about.
that and see how their attention span
Mhm.
Yeah.
goes.
Maybe a couple
So-
coloring books.
Yeah, for sure. Like I got my brother a coloring book a couple years ago that is Why is Daddy Sad on Sundays? A Cleveland sports adult coloring book.
Well, they don't need to make those anymore. All right, those days are done.
Yeah, it was all, like
Cleveland
the
Browns,
coloring page
2020,
of the
21.
drive and the fumble, Ernest Biner on the 1-yard line against the Broncos. It's all that stuff. It was amazing. Why is Daddy Sad on
And the
Sundays?
last page is just Phil
Cleveland
Dawson
sports.
because you're like, yes. Thank you,
Yes,
Phil.
precisely.
Thank you for your service. I'm sorry we never won you anything.
And
And
they
Joe Thomas.
all they ever needed to do was buy the crew.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
it's fine.
That's it, and everything is upward trajectory from there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's all been good ever since. Simple solution.
I agree.
Yeah. Save the team and get another team on the upward. Yeah.
Perfect.
And has it not been fun to see what a hot mess Austin is?
Oh man, I could talk about that as much as I could talk about Bigfoot.
Please, well, give us your hot take.
I might need an intermission because I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah, okay. Run for it. We've got we have about 8 minutes left, so run out.
I'm gonna run.
Check it out.
I'll be back and I'll talk about
Austin FC to close out the day.
Well, I mean, the big thing is apparently Precourt has been trying to get very reputable, well-known chefs to provide their services for the stadium for the cost of exposure.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is he trying to expose himself to them?
Yeah. Nobody wants to see that, but
No. That's why they're saying no, because
Wow.
people who've won awards for their and are longstanding Austin chefs
yeah.
Don't need the
don't need
exposure.
the exposure.
Just pay them.
Yeah,
Just
money.
pay them.
Money
Yeah.
is
So
great for
Mhm.
doing your job.
so the logic is I'm going to take this team that is
That usually
brand
works.
new in town and offer you an established person in this town
Exposure. It should be
That's
the other
so
way around.
awkward for
Like,
him.
Precourt,
Right.
you can pay me to give you exposure to my great cooking
Right.
because you're brand new. But no.
That's so uncomfortable.
Oh, but it's so him. I mean, that is what this city dealt with for years, and it's
Wow.
predictable.
Yeah, we
and,
Wow.
and everybody is just like, yeah, we told you so. That's what you got. That's your ownership group right there.
we had actually had a long discussion about how much to reference that man in this
Oh,
can.
he doesn't matter anymore.
And exactly.
It's just
and
funny.
That's sort of what we decided against. We were going to put a snake maybe in the eagle's talons or crawling
Well-
around dead, or something like that. And we're just like, we're over it. We're brown it. We're beyond him. Now, when we did the saved beer, you remember the saved beer?
I
So
do
after we
remember
was
the
saved,
saved
we
beer.
immediately released a can, and it was pretty simple. It was all matte black with the Columbus skyline squatched crossing the bridge. And the funny secret, two funny secrets. One was kind of a little more obvious. When a can is filled, there's a date code just printed on the bottom, like right there. And there was an FPC exclamation point printed under the date code.
Okay.
So
Uh,
yeah. So
yeah.
with that, well, it was for personal consumption.
Precourt.
Clearly for personal consumption.
Okay.
Definitely not fuck Precourt. But since it was all a matte black can, in the black layers embedded in the artwork, there was a massive fuck Precourt that you couldn't see because it's black
glad
on
we're still on
black,
this
and there's
topic.
no, it's
It's
all
just
in the
there.
black layer on those saved cans in the artwork that exists.
Wow. Okay.
You can't see it,
That's awesome.
but it exists.
I like that. I came in at the end, but I like that a lot. I like what I heard. I agree. Very much
Yeah.
so.
It's just funny, fun, ironic. I don't even know what the right word is to see him pulling his same tricks.
And we were like, we told you.
Yeah.
We told you this was going to happen.
And honestly, I wish nothing but good things for Austin.
It's a wonderful
It's a
city.
wonderful
City's
city.
I went there
Great
before
city.
like the whole Save the Crew thing. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is like Columbus
Yeah.
with more tacos.
It's like Columbus with better natural environments and
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. The
probably better
parks,
music scene.
like
and
natural
stuff like that,
springs. I don't know. Columbus music scene's not bad.
I
It's pretty
wish
sweet, yeah.
all good things for Austin in general.
Mhm.
They got thrown into a really cruddy situation, and it's not their fault. But
I'm still going to call you out on it though. Not how bad it is for you with
But
your owners.
my
You people
goodness,
are nice. Like you're great.
Precourt is just a walking disaster, and all he wants to do is get a team. He wants a San Diego team.
Yeah.
And Austin FC will tank because he will tank it, and he will get a San Diego team.
Is that what he's doing? Moving on to
I don't know.
I
don't
believe.
know.
Oh, Wales, Virginia.
Totally speculation. Totally speculation. But
No, that can't be.
That's what he's
the people
into.
of Austin deserve more, and I hope they get more, but I really don't think they will.
No.
And it's not them, it's him. And
Oh,
he's
it's
the
purely
worst.
on him.
He is the worst.
He has no idea what he's doing.
Worst.
There's a lot of things that I would like to say, but I will not say because this is on the internet.
Yeah.
It
But
shall
yes.
be forever and ever, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying them. Oh.
Eh.
And I didn't.
No, they're much
you're
more
just
vulgar
like-
than what you're saying.
I
So
I didn't do the Save the Crew. I didn't engage in any of that. None of it, because it was more important that we focus on here. But
on the good, yeah.
Austin is not getting what they deserve. They're an amazing
No.
town. They deserve a great soccer team.
They deserve like owners like what we have now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every team should have
Yeah.
Dr. Pete and
Yeah.
the Haslams. Like
Yeah, D, fantastic.
I
Sweet
wish-
D.
Dr. Pete.
As long
Amazing.
as they never beat us, I wish them all the luck in the world. They
Yeah.
can beat
I won't go
everybody
that
else.
far.
Well, not the
Oh.
club, because that's as long as
Yeah.
that's connected to him. The
Right,
people of
but
the city,
I mean the
fantastic.
city.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's Austin's a great town.
go Austin Bold.
I'm-
Yeah, that's my team down there.
There were a few people in Austin who were pretty cruddy to some of our fans. Again, I didn't engage.
There were
in
at
that,
least
but-
6 of them.
Yeah, but I mean, there's six.
Like 6 specifically.
There are
Maybe. I
there
don't
are
know.
at least 6 jerky people in Columbus.
Oh, there are a lot more. There's
There
probably 96,
There's
honestly.
a lot more. Yeah,
I love the crew people, but some of them can.
There are some jerky
When-
people.
I've
here
seen a
It's
few
gonna
weird
happen.
things happen. Yeah,
People are going to be people.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, it took a
overall-
while.
but
coming from
Precourt is
Ann
just a
Arbor.
hot mess. He is a
Yeah.
hot mess. He is bad. Little-
Bad.
Mhm.
Just
Bad,
bad.
bad,
Just a
bad.
bad. I wouldn't
Bad,
want to hang out
bad,
with him.
and bad.
He hugged my brother during
Ooh.
Save the Crew.
it was just
That's
creepy
weird.
and awkward. How was
It,
that?
the story of that was absolutely creepy and weird. It was at the All-Star game in Atlanta because my brother is a soccer stats nerd, and he
Okay.
did won
Yes,
some
he
national
is.
competition. He's a genius. I paint things, but so there was some owners meeting, or not owners, investor operators, because there's no owners, because they made that very clear that these are not clubs in Major League Soccer. And they came out of their meeting, and my brother was just hanging out in the Heineken Club or whatever, because it was their sponsored thing. So he had free beer. So my brother had a couple. And then Precourt comes out, and my brother has a Save the Crew shirt on, and it's just standing there hanging out. And Precourt points him, comes up to him. My brother did not initiate anything because
Do not engage.
right. Don't feed the troll. I don't want to talk. I don't want anything to do with you. And he came up and he's like, I'm sorry for what I'm putting you guys through. And he hugged him. And my brother was like, what are you doing? And then his wife,
so
Precourt's wife, was
awkward.
like, you need to get away from here.
I'm sorry for what I'm doing to you.
Right.
That's
It was
so
that one
awkward.
tweet was
So-
I'm sorry for the things I put us in. I mean, you
Oh, yeah.
in. It's just the dude is out of touch with what reality is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the people of Austin, because most of them are pretty cool in general,
Yeah.
will be this guy is fake and this is not what we
Yeah.
want to be.
So the best
Bummer.
thing for the city of Austin is probably say goodbye to that particular person and welcome the team. If
Yeah.
the team can stay, and they
Absolutely.
can save.
There's
Hey,
Crew 2
let's
down
start
in
that.
Austin.
Let's save what's Austin FC. Save Austin.
I'm not, that's too
No?
much work.
Too much work.
You don't know.
And that's a whole nother thing. The Crew 2 thing is weird. The fact that their new stadium looks like Mafre with a roof.
Mm.
It lacks ambition, in my opinion.
Basically
It's
took
so
the plans that he
strange.
had and
He went,
They-
this stadium's not good enough to work here, but I'm going to put it where it's 100 degrees.
I
and
mean,
let you
yeah,
guys
and
figure
put
it
a
out
roof on it, and now it's perfect.
on a
Okay. Yeah, I mean, every time I
radioactive
see
dump
it,
site
I
and
think
whatnot,
Mafre
but-
with a roof.
Hmm.
Green Mafre with a roof.
yeah.
It's weird.
Verde.
Verde. Verde
On a
Mafre
field
with a
of
roof.
dirt. All right, guys. Well, we are at 6:30. It's kind of the end of our time here on the first podcast. I really want to thank you for
Yeah.
coming out.
Thanks for
It's
having
been
us.
a really fun,
Or at least me. I don't know if she's happy about it.
fun time talking. Yeah. So again, Ethan and Joe, you guys are both from the Nordecke group here
Yeah.
with the
Come
crew
hang out
supporter
with us.
section. Yeah,
Everybody
guys.
is welcome.
Absolutely.
Please, we
Come
just
through.
like to
Nice
have fun.
meeting you
Just be nice and say what's up.
Fun. And come join us here at Endeavor Brewing and Spirits.
And get the Nordecke beer. It's wonderful.
show all the
It's
crew
delicious.
matches.
A
It's
lot
going to
of
be
fun things on the
awesome.
can.
There's a fun year ahead of us.
Absolutely.
Go crew.
Go crew.